back to our NCAA football win total series, and we are continuing in the Sun Belt. We are with James Madison University, and they're a new FBS program, but this program has success. Back in 1999, that really starts with Mickey Matthews taking over. They make the playoffs that year. He wins a national title in 2004, makes the playoffs in 06, 07, 08, and again in 2011. He leaves after the 2013 season, but Everett Withers takes over, back-to-back playoff bursts. Mike Houston shows up, 3 straight playoff bursts. And that's when Curt Cignetti shows up, 14-2 his first year, makes it to the finals, doesn't win. The 2020-2021 COVID year, semifinalists in the playoffs, semifinalists in 2021. In 2022, they make the jump up to the Sun Belt, 8-3 that year, but not eligible for the Sun Belt title, even though they were co-champs of the East that year because of NCAA rules. Last year, similar situation, but they were even better. They open up, they beat Bucknell. They beat Virginia on the road by a point. Then they beat Troy on the road by 2. Win at Utah State by 7. South Alabama and Georgia Southern, both wins. At Marshall, Old Dominion, at Georgia State, and then UConn, all wins. November 18th rolls around. App State at home. College game day shows up. They lose in overtime, 26-23, their first loss of the year. They win at Coastal Carolina to end the season. They assume their season's over. They're not eligible for the Sun Belt title. They're not eligible for a bowl game. Oh, wait, there's not enough bowl teams. They put them in a bowl game. At this point, though, Curt Cignetti's off to Indiana. A ton of their guys are gone. They end up losing to Air Force 31-21. Well, Curt Cignetti's gone. They've got to bring in someone new. Bob Chesney shows up from Holy Cross. Bob Chesney's done some awesome things. He was with the Assumption Greyhounds, Division II, went to 3 straight playoffs there, took over Holy Cross. That wasn't a good program. 2019, the 2020-21 COVID season, 2021 and 2022 all went to the playoffs. 2023 goes 7-4, and he is off to James Madison. James Madison's got to make a lot of changes, though. Jordan McLeod is gone. He's off to Texas State. They bring in Dylan Morris, former Washington recruit, 3,700 yards and 20 touchdowns in 4 years, primarily as a backup. Did have some interception issues, though. Offensive line's pretty solid, brings back a lot of guys, including Cole Potts and Tanner Morris. They bring in a Holy Cross transfer in Pack McGuire. That should be a strength of this team. Everything from the Duke backfield's gone. They bring in Ayo Adiyai from North Texas, 2,230 yards and 16 touchdowns over the last 3 years. Tyler Purdy also comes in from Holy Cross. He ran almost 1,000 yards. The offense should be just fine. The defense was great last year outside of the bowl game, but they have to replace just about everyone. The line suffered a ton of losses. It's going to be 4 transfers starting there. At linebacker, it's going to be Jacob Dobbs. It's going to be the main guy. He's a Holy Cross transfer. They also bring in Raymond Scott and Trent Hendrick. Raymond Scott is from Fresno State. Secondary didn't have a lot of depth, but it's 4 homegrown players playing there. Jacob Thomas had 54 stops last year. He's going to lead the way. They have Chauncey Logan at corner. He can make plays. I like this team. This is the Holy Cross team, though. It's a Holy Cross offense. It's a Holy Cross defense. Holy Cross was awesome last year when running the ball. When they ran the ball well, they won. James Madison was the exact same way. So I think this is going to be a seamless transition for them as they move into this new offense and new defense. And the schedule starts out nice for them. August 31st, they're at Charlotte. September 7th against Gardner-Webb. They should be 2-0 before their first bye. September 21st at North Carolina. That's probably a loss, but they could sneak up and grab a win there. I'm going to say it's a loss. Before September 28th, they face Ball State at home. That's going to be a win. October 5th, they're at ULM. Probably a win. October 10th, Coastal Carolina. Toss-up. At Georgia Southern, October 19th. Then October 26th, they're against Southern Miss before another bye. The 9th is when they play next. So it's kind of nice. They have the bye before the short week, Georgia State there. Then they have essentially a mini bye before Old Dominion on November 16th. November 23rd is at App State. That's going to be a tough game, but then they close out with Marshall at home. And when I look at this team, I mean, I see definitely 2 guaranteed wins up front. They're probably going to beat Southern Miss. They're probably going to beat ULM. I like them to beat Georgia Southern. I like them to beat Georgia State. I like them to beat Old Dominion. I like them to beat Marshall. My biggest worries for them are at North Carolina and at App State. Say they lose both of those, we're still talking about a 10-2 team. Win totals are chilling right around 8.5 for most places. Caesars is a little off. They're sitting at over/under of 8. Their over is at -125, and that's what we're going to take. I think this is a 9-win team. We're going to take the push insurance, though. We're going to take over 8 at -125. We've gone through over half the Sun Belt now. We've done the entire Mountain West. We've done the MAC. We're going to move on next to the AAC. We're going to move on to the Conference USA, then the AAC before we hit the Independents and the Pac-2, and then the big conferences. If you like this content, make sure to put a like on this. Make sure to comment, share it with your friends, and we'll see you next time.